Children, the next problem faced by scientists was to give appropriate explanation of these laws because all laws need experimental evidences and proof. It was at the 19th century a British chemist, John Dalton, provided the basic theory about the nature of matter. We can call this theory as Dalton's atomic theory. He provided an explanation for the law of conservation of mass and law of constant proportion. Let us go to the postulates of Dalton's atomic theory. First postulate was all matter is made up of very tiny particles called atoms. Second postulate was atoms are indivisible particles which cannot be created or destroyed in a chemical reaction. Then next postulate, atoms of a given element are identical in mass and chemical properties. Then fourth postulate, atoms of different elements have different masses and chemical properties. Next one, atoms combine in a ratio of small whole numbers to form compounds. And the last postulate, the relative number and kinds of atom are constant in a given compound. Children, did you understand the meaning of these postulates? Don't worry, let us understand each postulate one by one by taking some examples of element A and B given rise to compound C. The first point was all matter made up of very tiny particles called atom. It means when we go on dividing the matter into smaller and smaller, when we get at the end is at atom. So, can we say element A and B are made up of atoms? Definitely. Instead, compound C also made up of atom. So, it is easy to understand. Then second postulate was atoms are indivisible particles which cannot be created or destroyed in a chemical reaction. What do you mean by this? Yes. Atoms are fundamental units of matter. On dividing them further, that is not possible. Also, in a chemical reaction, atoms combine together to form a compounds. However, no new atoms can be created and nor the existing atoms can be destroyed. So, here atom A and B combining together to form compound C. So, can we say no new atoms are formed in this case? Yes, and similarly, no atoms get destroyed. Let us go to the third postulate. It was atoms of a given element are identical in mass and chemical properties. That is, if zoom into the element A, we find all the atoms present in the element A is same. And what sense are the same? The atom has identical mass and chemical properties. In simpler words, the third postulate states all atoms of given element are identical in mass and chemical properties. And does this explain fourth postulate too? Yes. The fourth postulate was atoms of different elements have different masses and chemical properties. How we able to notice that atoms in element A is different from those in element B? Absolutely. And what sense are they different? Element A and B are having different masses and different chemical properties. In simple words, atoms of different elements are different. Then the fifth postulate was atoms combine in a ratio of small whole numbers to form compounds. What do you mean by this? In this chemical reaction, elements A and B reacting giving us the compound C. If we observe here, the unit of atom C has 2 units of element A and 1 unit of element B. So, are these in whole numbers? Yes. This means that in a compound, elements are always present in a ratio which comprises of whole numbers. You will not find half or 3/4 atoms combining with others. In case of water molecule, we always have 2 hydrogen atom and 1 oxygen atom combining to form one single unit. In 1 unit of carbon dioxide, we have 1 carbon atom and 2 oxygen atom. It is same for all the other compounds. Now let us go to the last postulate. It states that atoms of that is the relative number and kinds of atoms are constant in a given compound. Here, the same explanation that compound C atom has two atoms of element A and one element B makes us understand this. That is, if we scan compound C, it is always having two atoms of element A and one atom of element B in a single unit. And this is applicable for all compounds. We already discussed about two compounds like water and carbon dioxide. In case of one unit of water, it is always having two hydrogen atom and one oxygen atom. And in a single unit of carbon dioxide, it is always have one carbon atom and two oxygen atom. Then what about in the case of carbon monoxide? Here one atom of each carbon and oxygen is present, while one unit of ammonia have one nitrogen atom and three hydrogen atom around it. So the number of atoms always be constant in a compound. All this postulates helps the chemist to prove compounds formed from elements. But for understanding these elements and compounds, knowing the concept of atom is very essential. Let us get to know how these atoms are and its existence, atomic mass, etc. in the upcoming videos. Thank you children for watching this video. Have a nice day.